This game has an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly and at your own risk. This game has an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly and at your own risk. This game has an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly and at your own risk. This game has an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly.
Good evening, namaskar, and welcome. My name is Peter Abraham, and I'm thrilled to welcome our viewers to yet another interesting final table at this India Online Poker Championship powered by SpartanPoker.com. Remember, this is the 10th edition, and there's 118 events on this schedule, which we've been seeing some great action from. And whether you're a small stakes player or a high stakes player, this IOPC will give you a chance to ignite your passion for poker. There are still a few tournaments left in the schedule. And at the end of the schedule, we've got, of course, the IOPC Masters table, We'll talk about that a little bit more in the stream later on. But once again, 118 tournaments, 28 crores in guaranteed prize pools. That's pretty huge. And of course, being India's biggest online poker championship, it's no surprise that everyone's flocking to the virtual felts of SpartanPoker.com to take part in all the action. Now, the final table that we are about to bring you onto your screens in a few minutes is where a lot of skills will do the talking. For a buy-in of 27,500 rupees, you could play in the 50 lakh guaranteed PLO Highroller event, which is all set to take place. Well, the final table of that tournament is all set to kick off very, very shortly. And the tournament saw a mammoth number of entries that finally closed at 203. And clearly the guaranteed prize pool was crushed. And the final prize pool now stands at 50.75 lakhs. The winner of this IOPC PLO Highroller will take home 11.79 lakh rupees is what the first place winner is going to get for this particular tournament, winning that title. And the rest of the payouts for the top six are not too bad either. 7.99 lakhs for second place, 5.32 lakhs for third place, 4.36 lakhs for fourth place. And in the last two spots, 3.5 lakh rupees and 2.71 lakhs is the minimum payout that any of these players at this final table will take home. And from that massive 109 players that took part in this PLO action, we have now 6 finalists who've made it to this final table. And let me take you through who they are. Starting at the top is Shrey Maheshwari, the leader, the chip leader by far. He's got 137 big blinds. And Shrey Maheshwari, who plays as Maha, has got 2.19 million in chips. He's a high-stakes cash game player, and he's been playing since the last 5 years. He's just 27, hailing out of Bhatinda city in Punjab. Now, following Shrey Maheshwari is Anant Purohit. Anant, we know that you're known by the Pro Bro. So Anant Purohit is the guy who's on second chip counts. But there's quite a gap between him and Shrey Maheshwari. Anant has 1.04 million in chips. So that's a substantial amount of a difference between him and the chip leader. Anant has been playing since 2011 and he hails from the city of Kolkata, currently sitting on about a 65 big blind stack. Next up is another Maheshwari, Roopesh Maheshwari, playing as still drawing. And he's got another million chip stack that's there. This is amongst the top 3, of course. 1.01 million in chips, and he's been playing since 2017, based out of Bangalore. Not too much of a difference between him and Anant Purohit's stack. Roopesh Maheshwari has 63 big blinds behind him at the moment. Sitting in the fourth chip position is a very, very well-known face once again on the Indian circuit, which is Dhruvin Kothari, who's playing as the poker player. Very, very creatively named, of course. And Dhruvin's got a stack of just under 1,985,000 in fact in chips. And he's got a bunch of titles to his name as well, including the IOPC, which took place in January. He's the Millionaire Legends winner from that tournament, as well as the Super Highroller event from that same edition in Jan back in 2020. So it was a good start to the year for Dhruvin Kothari. And no doubt he'll be one of the faces to watch out for in this particular final table. Second last in chips on this FT is Sanat Mehroratra. He's playing as Avneet with 468,000 in chips behind him. Now, Sanat is someone who's had a red-hot start to his run here in the IOPC. On the same day, he won 2 tournaments at the IOPC, event number 40 and 41. And if that wasn't enough, he went on to score the title at event 46 as well. So 3 tourneys shipped already in this IOPC Jan 2021 series. And along with a Spartan Elite title in the past, there's every chance that he might add a 4th title to his name while being at this final table, even though he's one of the shortest stacks. Sanat is based out of Gurgaon, and he's got just under 30 big blinds. And the short stack on the table is a young man from Bangalore, the 32-year-old Avad Shah, playing as Cat Eyes. He's got 380,000 in chips behind him. He's been playing poker for almost 10 years now, and he has been crowned the Spartan Millionaire in the past. So a lot of talent at this PLO Highroller final table, and we should see some action despite the difference, vast difference in chips between the chip leader and the rest of the pack. I think there's a lot of play that's still going to happen between these players to try and lay claim to the title. By now, I'm sure you know that I will be joined by our two expert commentators to call out all the action on this final table. Our first guest who's going to join us is a poker professional from the United States. He's known for multi-tabling 24 tables at the same time. How do you do it, man? How do you do it? I have problems multi-tabling on 2 tables. But, well, here he is, someone who's earned more than $2.6 million on PokerStars. He was recently hired by America's card room, ACR, of course, as its security consultant and gameplay expert. And that expert is none other than Randy Liu. Joining us along with Randy is one of our original champions. In 2011, he left a day job at an MNC like Microsoft to become a professional poker player. And in that same year, he won his first Poker Guru Tour title in the month of September. And that was just the beginning in 2011. He went on to win the Creed event and the main event at the Asian Poker Tour, the APT, which took place in Goa back in that year. And in recent times, he has won the High Roller event at the India Poker Championship once again in Goa in 2016. And in 2018, he went on to win a title at this very series. The IOPC main event was claimed by this gentleman, and he beat a massive registration field of 1,000 plus entries. And well, the list is endless. He's got so many accomplishments to his name. I'm talking about none other than Sangeet Mohan, who we all affectionately know as Samo. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to this live stream Randy Liu and Sangeet Samo Mohan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Randy Liu and Sangeet Samo Mohan. Gentlemen, welcome to the live stream. Let's just get right into it. Let me ask you, Samo, Shrey Maheshwari, who's leading the pack right now as Ubaha. I'm loving the names that are coming through in this schedule. So he's got a little over 2.1 million in chips. Have you had a lot of experience playing with Shrey?
I know he's like a high-stakes PLO reg playing a lot of cash game on Spartan, and I think that experience is going to help him a lot. And then looking at these chip counts, he pretty much has double the second guy's chips. So those extra chips are definitely going to help him in this, because he just can, I think, take a lot more high variance spots, I think, in the spot where the others will just have to knit it up. Considering, I think Randy can help me with this, because, I haven't played a lot of PLO tournaments as such as a format. And Randy, do you actually play as tight as it looks, or is just a misconception?
I mean, PLO is not really my forte either. But I know that a lot of, when PLO tournaments that happen around the big ones, it's always the cash game guys that kind of come out on top. I guess it's, you can't really just hide behind in the way it most resembles a cash game, right? Because there's no antes in a PLO tournament. So also with no antes, the short stacks have a lot more time to kind of wait around and try to ladder up and things like this. This gives way more advantage to the chip leader, the cash game professional, who's going to be raising even more often, getting even more blinds. And these guys, they can fold down really low if they wanted to. Maybe we have a scenario where someone loses some chips. He's down to 5 big blinds where you expect him to get in soon, but it might take longer than expected. Chip leader raising even more often. And actually, because the way Pot Limit Omaha works, where the second place guy, he can't just 3-bet bluff like in No Hold'em and get his opponent to fold. The chip leader can call 3-bets, and now you're at risk, right? If you're the 60 big blind guy, you play a 3-bet pot, load it up. Well, we know in this game you can get it in very easily on flops and turns. So the chip leader has a major advantage, especially if he's a high stakes cash game player and a shorthanded player. Like, I'm going to be surprised if this guy doesn't take it down.
That difference in chip size, it's quite significant. In fact, in all the live streams we've done, we've not seen such a huge gap between the first player on the chip counts versus the next guy. And the next guy is no slouch. It's Anant Purohit, a.k.a. Prometheus. So Anant Purohit, he's certainly no slouch. I mean, he's won the IOPC Super High Roller last year, or I beg your pardon, in July of 2019. So he's been here. He's done very well for himself. But that chip lead can be quite intimidating, even for someone as seasoned as some of these guys at this final table.
See, like they said, when someone is playing with that chip lead, like exactly how Randy says, PLO doesn't function like Hold'em. In Hold'em, you can still, if you want, you think the chip lead is opening light and things like that, you can just play a lot aggressively. And, the thing is, you can still rip it in like ace-5 suited and still be okay with it. But here, you just can't do it. You just get only 3-bet pot, right? And the chip leader can very easily call you, and then you will be in a spot where you just can't put the money in because of the ICM. But you will have to give up a lot of equity. He'll just make you fold a lot of equity because one, he'll just make sure that you can only put it in with the nuts, right? I mean, because the ICM plays such a huge role and with the price jump. So I think it's very interesting to see how the second and the third stack, which are pretty even right now, play out this final table. It's going to be very exciting to see.
And speaking of the third stack in there, it's another Maheshwari, although he's not connected to the chip leader. That's Roopesh Maheshwari playing as still drawing with 10.16 in chips behind him. Little over a million, that is. And following him is Dhruvin Kothari, another player who's been very, very active on the virtual and live belts on the Indian circuit, playing as the poker player. 985,000 chips for Dhruvin Kothari. This guy is a rock solid player, Randy. I mean, I'm sure someone can also tell you about.
I've played with Dhruvin a lot. Not online, mostly live. We played a lot in Goa and things like that. But let me tell you this: if you think Dhruvin's scared, you got the wrong guy. I mean, he doesn't. For him, this money doesn't pretty much. I'm very sure it doesn't matter. If he has to gamble, he'll gamble. You know what I mean? Right? I mean, I don't think if there is one person the chip leader cannot put any kind of pressure on his Dhruvin because he doesn't care. Let's go, brother.
But that's good, right? Because that kind of really throws a wrench into the game. Because say the chip leader is expecting these second to fourth place guys to kind of just be quite quiet, right? As other guys, well, if this guy's going to fight back, that can really, either he's going to bust first or he's going to take the chip lead away, and that really changes things up. Where sometimes it looks like real smooth sailing for the chip leader can really be really dicey if this guy's fighting back and like, I don't care about the little page up. I'm going for the win. Let me just battle and not look like a little nit in front of everyone.
Well, in fact, just to extend on that point, Randy, how much do you think is, I know they're slightly different bombs, Texas and PLO, but I always get the feeling that you need a lot more, shall we say, testicular fortitude to play PLO over Texas. Has that been your experience as well in terms of like you need to be a much more fearless player in this format versus Texas?
I feel like the game is changing a lot. That definitely was very true in the beginning. I think, Omaha sometimes can be quite tight depending on the situation with the deeper stacks. Sometimes people don't want to get it all in. In final table situations, that's what I personally would expect. So you kind of see a bit more checking with, hands that might be betting normally in a more of a cash game spot. So it just really depends on which players are playing and, what the other stack sizes are out there. But in general, you have to be willing to get it in and you can't be expecting to hold, right? Like this is one of those games where you get it all in, like your guy's not getting in with 10% 2 outs. He's got a clean amount of outs. You got to be sweating. So, yeah, you're going to have to just hold on the ride.
All right, there you have it, folks. Randy Lou himself saying this, just get on that horse and ride it to finish line is what it is. Last two players that we're going to quickly talk about is Sanat Mehroratra, a.k.a. Avneet, who's got 468,000 in chips. Sanat has shipped the Spartan Elite in the past, but what he's done for this IOPC is he's won 3 events. The event 40, 41, and 46. I mean, that's just insane. That's coming across someone with that kind of consistency who's now making yet another final table and potentially yet another title at this one. And last but definitely not the least is Avad Shah, who's the shortest stack at the table, a.k.a. Cat Eyes. And if you've played live with Avad Shah and you've met him in person, you'll know that moniker is not too far off the mark. 380,000 in chips for this young man playing from Bangalore City. And that's about 23 odd big blinds. Somehow I mostly associate, maybe half this table with Texas Hold'em rather than PLO. But then you had an interesting angle to the whole satellite bit here.
Most of the online Reds who play tournaments, usually what they do is, PLO is just a fun game, right? So just try to sati into a bigger event. So it'll be interesting to see how many people actually bought in versus how many people actually satied into this event.
Right. Well, closing thoughts as we round this up and head towards the live action in a little while. Randy, the chip leader, 137 big blinds, and the small stack also, just under 24 big blinds. It's not too bad, but just your perspective on what the approach of the chip leader is going to be versus the short stacks, I should say. There's a couple of them there. Yeah,
I'll start with the short stack. The short stack has to look at the next short stack. They actually have very similar stacks, the 25, a couple more big blinds. In my opinion, these two guys should really just wait around and try to hope the other guy gets it all in first. Because equities run close, it'll be just so much more advantageous to you if one of the guys got it in and potentially busted with only, even if he's a favorite, 60-40 is not that big of a favorite in this game. That's a pay jump is very important. Right. So those guys will probably play quite tight as they battle each other. And the chip leader, on the other hand, he's the one that's knowing that those guys are going to try to wait each other out, going to raise very often. But it sounds like he's going to have to be a little bit worried about the poker player who's willing to get it in there regardless with his 60 big blinds. But for now, he should test the waters, raise a lot, see if he gets resistance. If they're just going to keep folding, he should just keep raising. And I think one of the adjustments he maybe might want to consider, probably already knows, is maybe use a bigger sizing pre-flop against the middling stack so to de-incentivize them for seeing flops and just take down blinds and antes a lot more.
Well, there you have it. Keep putting more pressure. That's pretty much the mantra of this final table. And with that kind of a lead, I think Shrey Maheshwari will definitely be putting the screws into the rest of the players, making sure that he takes advantage of that huge stack. Now, like I mentioned earlier, it's time to make ourselves feel a little more bad by listening to all the prizes that are going to be going the way of these finalists. Up top is, of course, 11.79 lakh rupees for winning this title of IOPC PLO Highroller. And that's not all. The winner gets an 18-karat gold IOPC badge. And to top it all, the winners of the big final tables across this series, the marquee events, the IOPC crown, and of course the leaderboard winner also, they'll all be put into a tournament which is known as the IOPC Masters table. Clearly that moniker will suit all of these big winners, and putting them together at a single table to play down for a big prize is going to be fantastic to see. That'll happen at the end of the schedule. On the 3rd of February is when you will see the IOPC Masters table. The winner will be crowned the mastermind of IOPC Jan 2021. And what does the winner get? The mastermind will get a sweet, customized Breitling Avengers Chronograph 43 watch. That's a lot of words for a prize. But trust me, folks, look it up, Google it up. It's a really sweet timepiece. And I'm sure the winner will really have a lot of fun spawning it on his or her hands in due course. So before we get into the action, let's just give all you viewers a little something. A free ticket to the Recharge tournament worth $2,200 is coming your way. And this Recharge tournament is scheduled for tomorrow, which is the 1st of February. And all you need to do is answer our contest question. The contest question is this: what is a heart flush in poker call? Again, what is a heart flush in poker call? And get your answers together, mention your Spartan ID, and of course, tag 3 of your friends in your answer on any of our social media channels. And one lucky winner who will win this ticket will win it into the Recharge tournament. And that ticket is worth 2,200 rupees for tomorrow evening. That's the 1st of February. Now, make sure that you are tuned to our live broadcast, this live stream where we're going to bring you all the action from this IOPC PLO Highroller tournament. And we will announce the name of the winner of this contest very, very shortly in the live stream as well as across our social media channels. So make sure you stay tuned. And given the response that we've got in the last few live streams, we might just have another contest and another ticket for you to win into yet another tournament at Spartan Poker, of course. And so stay tuned to the broadcast. We'll bring you all that and more. Now, the virtual bells are warming up. The 6 players are ready to rock. Let's get the cards in the air as we go into this final table of the IOPC PLO Highroller at SpartanPoker.com. Let's get into the action.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Omaha. That's something that's going to have quite a few of our viewers interested. As will it, our co-commentators on this one, Sangeet Mohan and Randy Lou joining me on this one. Guys, double the fun. 4 cards in hand, huh? That's not a bad place to be.
Absolutely, and we start off with aces, single suited, but I mean, what the hell? It's aces here.
I feel like
And
this is the easiest hand to play with, right? Like aces, like pre-flop, you just got to just pot it and you flop, and then you can't really play it wrong.
Absolutely, and with these kind of starting stacks, I think you can get the SPR so low that you can pretty much auto stack off on a lot of boards. And if you actually look at where there you go. Randy, very interesting sizing on the flop. I think he just didn't go full pot.
Well,
oh wow,
his opponent's got a decent piece there, huh?
Yeah,
I think decent might be underselling it a little bit.
Pair wrap is so I think the different one of the difference between cash games and oh wow. I think now it's just a straight up cooler.
And this is the reason, folks, that guys like me do not play this particular variant too often, because I don't think my heart could take this kind of excitement with every turn, every street.
But I think you just have to call here. Where I just don't think he can ever fold here. He just has too much equity. He has a wrap with a flush draw, right? Yeah, I think he just has equity in this spot. I don't think he can fold in this spot. And considering the sizing pre-flop, I don't think he will actually give him a lot of credit for aces, and he would think that a 5 is also light a lot of times, I guess.
Well, Prometheus has decided to let that one go.
I guess that what comes down to is the tournament poker part of it made him just kind of and folded that part. He's like, am I really just going to bust right away at the beginning of this final table? I think his hand was seemed a little weak pre-flop. I guess like you said, the sizing wasn't full pot, so maybe he decided that it was worthy of a call. But we got some action right away. You can see the aces here being a little passive post flop, and I think the reason again is just that the tournament aspect of this final table with the payouts, escalating, of course. Your tournament life is important. It's not just try to play the hands as much chip EV as possible. I do think that people are going to be passive in some spots just because of these big payouts.
Yeah, am I back?
You're back.
Okay, so I think now when I see, I didn't think Prometheus just called turn. He just folded turn, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a cash game, I don't think it's even a question. I think just it's an auto stack off. I think auto stack off spots at 1.2 SPR. Although there on the turn, I think he can call a lot of turns. But a couple of interesting things to note is that the pre-flop sizing, the sizing which still drawing chose to pot with or raise to on the pre-flop was very interesting because he didn't go full pot. He just went slightly under pot. And with the sizing, flop sizing was fine, but pre-flop sizing is something which was very interesting. Yep, I'll be opening up a pretty decent looking hand. I think, Randy, do you think the players should actually go for, considering the fun stack sizes we have around, do you think players should look at going for 3-bet spots, or they should just do a lot more flatting because of ICM? Because 3-bet pots means obviously more variance, right?
Well, I mean, I feel like if you're three betting, obviously in this game, it shrinks the stack to pot ratio so much that you end up just getting it in.
Yes.
So it's pretty tough. I feel like really though, what should happen is that these short stacks should really just try to hang in there a little bit, because it's quite easy to once you if you three bet and you're a short stack, you're pretty much committed a lot of times, right? Any kind of not terrible board at least. So it's I believe in a tournament aspect, you got to respect the ICM in this game, especially because people, when they get it in, are very likely to bust, you know? But then again, are these guys tournament PLO professionals? I don't know. So maybe they're different moves.
I think that's a pretty small part of the poker playing community.
Like
PLO tournament pros. But it's more
they don't exist. It's the truth. They do really don't exist.
There is no part of it's no part of the poker community which is a non-existent part of the.
We were having a discussion a little bit before the broadcast about the fact that a lot of players have actually satellited their way in, with Samo having looking down slightly on the satelliting players. But yes, that's one way that a bunch of guys have come into this. But yeah, here's an interesting flop. Wow.
Yeah, like I said, Dhruvin is not going to shy away from seeing flops. Like, you know, he just had to just peel one off with like queens on 10-3 and 2 diamonds. Also, he just lived it under the gun because he wants to see flops. He's an action junkie, man.
Well, the action junkie is going to be a little disappointed in this one, considering the.
I think he's just going to just. I know. I think he just went for a very thin value or something. I guess. Because I don't think
it's a bluff. I mean, this has to be a bluff.
It has to be. I mean, I don't know. For that sizing, it's. I mean, you know, it's 88 and 224 or something. Like, you know, I don't know. I thought he just going for extremely thin value. I have no idea.
Yeah, nah, I don't think so. But well, I mean, we saw that right there because the poker player, he did limp under the gun, so he's trying to see some flops here, and then you know, the chip leader was just trying to pounce and punish, and you know, his hand was, you know, not the greatest hand out there with the Jack 10-8 deuce, but we can see the chip leader is going to try and put the pressure, which is what I predicted, you know, before this final table did start.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of the shorter stacks will be focusing on a strategy, or I think should be focusing on a strategy where they actually only play a very Broadway heavy range. I think so, because if the stacks are too low, they pretty much get into you know, you can pretty much get it in on like a top pair plus board a lot of the time, because you know, if you have like a Broadway card, your top pair will be good, and you know, you hopefully have 3 live cards along with it. Like if you play 50 BB stacks in a cash game, my coach used to say just play a Broadway heavy ranges, like, you know, ace king queen x, ace jack queen x, queen jack 10x, things like that, so that, you know, not even queen jack 10x, like king queen jack x kind of hand, because you know, you can just get it in because your SPR is so low, you can easily get it in with top pair plus. Right.
This is not one of those games where like, oh, I'm gonna just call a 3-bet with 5-6 suited, and you know, you know?
And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think we have a head-up pot between Avneet and Shrey. Shrey taking a stab at it with a nut flush blocker, and that's about it.
I mean, like, look, this guy's just put in that hand is not a good hand, I would imagine, but he's the chip leader. He can raise from any position.
Absolutely.
These guys just check fold even with some flush draws out there. Like, this is just, it's a dream scenario, really.
Yeah. Give me odds that poker player is going to limp at least. Come on, you need. There you go. Okay, you've been raised. Double suited.
This is easy.
Yeah, this is easy. Get it in. Yeah.
Slam dunk pot.
Absolutely. Yeah. They don't even have to think about it. Just get it in all pretty much all flops. There you go.
So is this enough to continue?
More than enough. Because the problem, the thing is, you have less than one SPR, and it is just way. I mean, poker player can also stack off here because you know he has a pair, and that is good enough to stack off with. But I think he just decided to fold because it is a tournament. Because you know what? whenever you get a
on as top set is up, and then you're drawing dead.
no, we're not looking at just the top sets, right? Like he can have all aces, all ace king X kind of hands, which is going to pot because it is a 1 SPR kind of situation, and under 1 SPR situation, and under 1 SPR situation, it is very profitable to stack off with one pair. And because you have 3 live cards and a bunch of other things going, and if you have a backdoor flush draw, it's much easier to stack off because you just add on another 5% in equity. I think a lot of these decisions. I'm sorry.
Please go ahead.
I think a lot of these decisions are driven by ICM as well, because it is a tournament. In a cash game, of course, there's no ICM, and they just free to just reload whenever they want. Yep, we have that.
I can say it seems like a lot of the guys are still getting involved in a lot of pots with some marginal hands.
Absolutely, yes. Even I feel that like if people are just playing it like a very loose cash game.
Yeah, there hasn't been too much craziness till now, I would think.
Absolutely. So basically, it's like this. Some of the hands which have been opened. If my coach ever sees me open these hands, he will literally kill me. Like he will just kill me. He'll say, "Why are you burning money?"
Well, technically speaking, if your coach was so good, wouldn't you be at this final table?
Yeah, because I don't play this.
Low blow and oh my God. All the way from Melbourne, Australia. That bird traveled all the way from Australia out here on these virtual. There you go, folks. And for those of you who are just joining us, the PLO Highroller that's underway right now. Let's take you quickly through the names once again on the table. You've got right now Omaha, which is Shrey Maheshwari. He's the chip lead, of course. And next to him is Cat Eyes, Avad Shah. Next to Avad Shah is Prometheus. That's Anant Purohit. Still drawing is the gentleman who's in the next place after that. And I have suddenly realized that it's the other Maheshwari, Roopesh Maheshwari, who's sitting at that seat. And going around to the poker player, very imaginatively named the poker player. Dhruvin Kothari is that one. And last but not the least, we've got Avneet, who is Sanat Mehroratra.
If I remember right, I think Dhruvin used to be a supernova and stuff like that, by the way, back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm really not surprised. He comes with the most amount of, I want to use the word baggage, but in a non-negative way. The baggage, the wealth of experience, let's put it that way, as a player. Fair enough. He is one of the guys to watch out for, even though he's got a slightly lower stack.
That was a very interesting. I think Shrey just limped 3-3, 3-6 dudes or something like that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun tip, I'll tell you that much.
That's a nice bluff from still drawing. You guys have probably fold the bottom 2 pairs there. Just like, well, if this chip leader's not betting, he probably doesn't have anything, right? Like, it's been so many checks.
Well, if you want to be a part of this IOPC schedule, then there is a really cool tournament happening at the moment, which is the Crown. The main event has crushed its guarantee, and we still have 2 hours of gameplay left to end. We've got a 3.5 crore guaranteed prize pool with 11K buy-in. So we're going to wait and bring you an update from that Crown tournament as to what the final prize pool is going to be like. And in the meantime, let's take a look at this PLO Highroller event as well.
I wonder. I mean, I think studying PLO, and there are a lot of materials when it comes to cash games. Like you can go to Jane Andes or Run It One. There's a lot of stuff, but I don't think there is anything specific for cash tournaments. Very honestly, but I probably haven't researched enough to find out if there are enough. But I don't remember seeing any kind of live or PLO tournament content out there. No,
I guess in general, it seems like because there's not much material on it, it's just the pure cash game guys are going to have the biggest edge.
Absolutely.
Rather than the satellite guys, they're just kind of hang in there.
Yeah, ride the wave till the end as far as possible.
Oh wow, That's a pretty. See, I think this is him just abusing these guys because I think this is Shrey just abusing these guys because they know that Prometheus cannot stack off and they know that the other two ranges are so weak. So it just I think it just makes it ready. In a cash game, this will never go through, right? Like this is never going through. I can guarantee you that. He just get flattered in 2 spots, not 1, 2 spots. That's how many spots he'll get flattered in. But here, I think he's just using the fact that ICM is in play and Prometheus understands ICM, and then he will have to fold because of the chip leader. And the other two ranges are not strong enough to report. So I think they have very flat, happy ranges which they cannot continue with.
And I think the important part is their stacks are so shallow, so they would always auto pot 2 aces pre-flop.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. Or kings.
I find that re-raise there was brilliant from the the cash game player, but it's also disrespectful to everyone, right? Like, you guys don't know what you're doing, so I'm just gonna pot it.
Actually, I think he's supremely focused to actually pick that spot perfectly. Yeah, I think it's a standard check call, and then that turns very interesting. See, I mean, these are the things I said. Like those 3, 4-9 just got limbed, and then they just played a pot pre. So I think the lack of content for PLO is what is showing right now. I think that is where Randy, you should probably start a PLO tournament course, man.
I'm not a PLO professional. I might jump into this PLO tournament one day.
Well, more opportunities exist right here.
So, even though Queens is an overpair on this board, it pretty much sucks, right?
Yeah, you just have call off. You can't just do anything on this board. You just have to check board. Okay. Yeah, even now you can't really do much. You just hope. You can bluff catch because you have 2 queens, I guess. But then the other guy just got to value bet a lot. If he valuates a lot more correctly, then I don't think you have queens. So, either you have to bluff with queens or just fold, I guess. Yeah, I think this cat just has to pot it and just go with it. No other way the hand can be out. There you go.
Well, that's not a bad flop.
Yeah. A wrap or a dry or a rainbow board is probably the best. There's a full wrap. He has all the way from 8.
Well, that's like a real snap fold right there. So people not really messing about. They're just getting out of the way as quickly as they can. We saw that with Uma a couple of hands before against Cat Eyes.
There you go. I think still drawing. See, this is where it gets interesting. I think still drawing cannot report here because he is against a chip lead, I think. Oh, I think still drawing is all right, man. I'm just gonna go with it. Let's do this.
Right, I think under normal circumstances you wouldn't be potting this hand, but these guys are just I don't care. We're playing this like a cash game.
Oh wow!
Oh my god! This is why you don't even though you have pops in a flush draw, this guy can still knock his opponent out, right? Just hit a diamond.
Absolutely. So that's the thing, right? So now it's much comfortable considering the fact that he has the boat.
Wow. Finally, some fireworks. It's been
no. I don't think any fireworks gonna happen here. Because the board is there. I don't think it is. There you go. It'll Ubahaj is going to give up easy. Yeah, he's gonna just hold like this. Yeah. Because that's the thing about PLO. Once the board is paired, you're done with flush draws, right? So you can't do much.
No point in chasing that. Pipe dream.
Yeah.
Well, Uma, that's Shrey Maheshwari still holding on to his pretty substantial lead. He had chipped up a fair bit just before that hand that you just saw.
Yeah.
But still holding on with 2.1 million in his stack.
Yeah, Randy, we were talking about the King's hand. I think under normal circumstances, I think it's a flat here because you're the second chip lead and you're against the chip leader, right?
Yeah.
Ideally, I think you probably flat and play that because you just don't want to take a high variance line.
Yeah.
This could be this I think is going to okay. I think Prometheus should be betting this board a lot on the flop because considering the stacks are not that deep, it would be incorrect to bet that board.
I mean, in general, I expect a lot more checks just because we're at the final table with shallow stacks. But so I guess what you would expect is just not going to happen that much. And it makes a lot of sense to me because you look at there's 3 guys with 4 million chips, and like it's 20 big blinds, and that's not a stack in PLO.
Absolutely. Yeah, correct. So I think it's fine to check back. Actually, he just had a naked flush draw. Okay. Naked and flush draw. That's fine to check back, I guess.
So I guess he's just trying to decide if he should turn his hand into a bluff.
No, I think he just check back with showdown, I guess. Yeah. Because I don't think Avneet's hand looks like he had much anyways, I guess. There you go. I think he's gonna go fold to the. See, like these hands will never make like an ace 3 10 it never has nut draws, so I think it's good to fold even for the small blind, I guess. And Randy, so like small blind versus big blind is like in tournament poker, you can actually have like 10 chapters on small blind versus big blind, right? For various stack sizes. In no limit hold'em. In PLO, what do you do? I mean, what kind of hands do you choose to pot with? What kind of hand do you choose to limp with? That's a very interesting, I think, thought. Like what kind of hands you actually limp call with? Limp. Can you ever limp fold? I don't even know. I don't even know if you can limp fold because any hand you just have to call, I guess.
In general, I think Omaha can pretty much do whatever he wants, though. So it's not really that big of a deal. Like, I'm wondering what your thoughts are on what's the best pre-flop raise sizing right now. Is it we go into 2.2? We go into full 3x, or even bigger 3.5x?
I think it is. I think it is a very stack specific. The answer is very stack specific. I think someone with a short stack can just go full pot, and someone with a larger stack can just go smaller a lot. Because once you have a shorter stack, it's easier for you to lower the SPR and just get it in. And wonder with someone when there is no ICF in play, you can just open smaller so that if you get 3-bet, you can call and just keep the SPRs bigger.
Quads. So you just want to interrupt you. Quads. So you know what? So still drawing actually just flatted the aces here in the big blind, right? Where you think maybe in the last hand he just realized maybe I shouldn't have 3-bet those 2 kings, and now he's like, I think
so. I think that's why I think he's realized that you probably shouldn't be 3-betting aces against him. Like the only guy he should be 3-betting aces against is that guy, at least right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's done pretty well for himself thus far. Still drawing Roopesh Maheshwari against his namesake. He's almost plugged that gap down. There's from about a little over 1 million, he's now at 1.7. And Omaha, Shrey Maheshwari, still over that 2 million mark. Just to remind our viewers, this tournament's guarantee of 50 lakhs got crushed, and there's almost 12 lakh rupees up top for the winner, and a whole bunch of other prizes, which we will talk about in just a short while.
Yeah. Pretty standard open by Omaha, and just going to get folded out. See, I think Omaha can choose a much smaller sizing in general. In general, I'm talking about not this particular hand, but then in general, I think he can choose a smaller sizing because Omaha can do whatever he wants. Actually, he has the biggest stack, but still Roy can use a smaller sizing. Prometheus can use a smaller sizing because he could probably peel 3-bets also, and he wouldn't have such a weird short SPR where he'll have to get it in with any pair of redraw kind of things.
Yeah, I think at this stage, Omaha's basic game plan is just kind of chipping up by blinds. I don't think he's expecting getting some big clashes. Yeah. Everyone's ranges are very tight. If they were defending versus his small sizing, then I would probably bump it up more to just basically say you can't defend anything. But if he's getting away with these tiny sizes, then you might as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to get open for sure. I'm just going to fold around this.
I mean, it's pretty hard in this game, right, to get all 4 of your cards to look pretty, like together. 3 is really easy, you know, but 4 is like really, really tough.
Have you play? If you play PLO live, that is the most frustrating. Like Hold'em, you can just still get some hands. I mean, you will still have cutoff and butted, but you can still open some hands. But then PLO, you just don't pick up hands, man. I'm like, who asked them to make this a live game? You have to play this online because you just don't pick up hands.
Right, like because you squeezing the cards apart and like, why is that deuce there? Why is that 3 there? It makes no sense.
And one more thing about PLO which I've noticed is that especially when you play live, people call you nit way more often than Hold'em.
Oh, look at this!
Yeah, because you just can't do much, right? Like they will, they'll say you're not playing a hand. I say I'm not picking a hand. In Hold'em, you can still see some hands. You can open some, things like that. You're just locked. I say I don't have a hand, bro.
Yeah. This Omaha guy I really like the way he plays. Like he's just relentless, man. Like in that last hand, he just bet the turn. Well, he didn't even have anything. He did a gut shot to a wheel on a paired board. Like what is that in this game? That's nothing.
Yeah, I think Amit is going to check. Oh wow, okay. So he has his 2 shorter stats. Okay.
So was that a standard flop check with the 2 queens here? Because obviously you're not really looking to get
correct. Yeah, you can't do much. If you bet and if you get check potted, then you're just in a huge situation. Like you just have to give it up. Now I think it's much easier to bet because he has checked twice, and he would expect a better hand to be betting there on the turn at least. So that's why it is such a position heavy game. Like the moment you're in position, you're the king. Like you can figure out what's happening. I think he's going to go check. He doesn't have to turn it into a bluff. We will have.
It's a nice win for 2 queens, huh? Like
there you go.
This is a nice solid pot there. I like the way that Need played that hand. I feel like by raising, like sure maybe he gets it in okay, but like there's no point in risking your 6 million chips when there's a 3 million and a
3 and a 4 million. That's correct. So now we have 2 players pretty much in the 10 BB range. So I think that's going to be interesting because 10 BB. I've never played 10 BB PLO in my life. Okay.
Well, is the 9334 a 10 BP hand?
Pretty certain. It's very interesting because still drawing as an opening hand, sure. And I want to see how I think he might just choose to. I thought he would just leave it because still drawing will probably want to avoid playing hand with him. But then I think he gave still drawing the credit that he's opening into his big blind.
Right.
Sticky spot. Oh wow, he got a call from Omaha for sure.
Well, as the game goes on, the viewers who have tuned in, let's remind you once again of the contest question that we asked you a little while earlier. What is the heart flush known as in poker? What is the heart flush known as in poker? Get your answers down with your Spartan Poker ID, tag 3 of your friends, and one lucky winner will win a ticket worth rupees 2,200 into the recharge tournament that's happening tomorrow. So make sure you get your answers there. We'll bring you the winner's name as well as the answer in the course of this live stream.
Jeez, what is the heart flush known as in poker, man?
Like I was going to say, that's a tough question. I don't know the answer to this.
I don't know the answer.
Don't even take guesses at the moment. You just might give it away.
Yeah, I won't be guessing, but I'm like, these guys are not going to win.
That's a tough question, man.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Yeah, I think multi-way is just obviously going to go check because although he's blocking the straight, I think it's going to go check a lot. And I think still going is going to start betting now.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine anyone has a straight if they didn't bet yet, right? But he did check. I think I would have liked to see a bet.
So bet from Sildrag on the turn for sure. Because, I think, oh, wow. What? Yeah. And the thing is, Sildrag's range looks so weak at this spot. Like, he looks like he can have like 9-8, etc., and then he's just going to report it for sure. Yeah, he's just going to fold like this. I think Shrey's just going to fold here a lot because he knows that Sildrag's not going to do it with anything worse than a king queen minimum.
Yeah, I think this full house is. Oh, he did. He
paid
off. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I'm done with these random deck raises. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So now
I'm beginning to reconsider who satellited his way. That was a bit of a surprise. That took us all by surprise, in fact.
Yeah, I didn't think he would call. I think although it for someone who's looking at PLO for the first time, it's like, what are you guys saying? It's full house over full house. It's a cooler. No, so in PLO, full house is not a really cooler. You can say it's a cooler to your friends, but it's not. You know that you can probably get away from a lot of these hands if you just sit back and just break down these hands. You probably know that you pretty much don't have to get into those spots itself.
Yeah, maybe he just was a little bit frustrated. He feels like, he's getting that feeling that his opponent's playing backhand, which is really not the case because, he took all these passive lines. He's like a strong player, of course, and he's just maybe a little frustration call. But actually, it changed the dynamic a lot, I feel like. Now he's given way to chip played. We'll see if that changes. Will still drawing start to play differently and maybe try to be the aggressor himself? I don't know, but we'll find out soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll be with a decent looking hand for just about 10-15 big blinds. Like, these kind of hands can just happily, I think, just stack off with this stack. And, with this particular stack size, there are 3 people in pretty much the same stack size. So I think not much ICM to be considered there.
Ooh. I was going to say, I feel like this ace-6-5 deuce is a pretty YOLO call pre-flop, but, he's got something now.
Yeah, this is a very, let's call it ambitious.
Lovely. We're seeing these non-poker terms making it onto this final table. Ambitious.
Ambitious.
I
guess you just got to pay off here of the 2 kings, or what's the
I think it just fold only because this board is just just terrible for kings. Like you just kings with flush draw, yeah, sure, get it in, but kings is naked kings. I probably wouldn't even just see bet this board because this you expect him to be dealing a lot of Jack 9, 10x, 7, 8, 10x kind of hands, which connects with this board so hard. So you probably wouldn't want to be c-betting this board a lot. Because one, if you can get those cheap showdown, great. Number 2, if you actually bet and you get raised, you're in a shit spot because, you're in a bad spot because, you can't really do much.
So what I think should have happened with these shallow stacks and these very strong, king type of, it's just pot at pre-flop. I feel like you just cut everyone else, giving them any chance of seeing a flop with you. Try to survive a little bit, pick up the blinds. You see a little raise there. Someone got interested in the ace-6-5 deuce, and or maybe the big blind comes along, which is not what you want with 2 kings. This is a vulnerable hand in this game.
Yeah, this is an interesting turn. Like the flop and check, and this is an interesting turn because he just flopped the middle stab in 3rd set.
Rani, considering what you just said right now, and of course this question goes to Samo as well, is that indicative of the slight lack of experience that, PLO tournament play generally, Indian players maybe don't have as much exposure to that?
Yeah, for sure. And it might not just be tournament Omaha, it could just be Omaha in general, right? Like most of these guys are probably no limit players, I imagine. And, it's sometimes you haven't played a hand in a while, you see some suited hands, want to go for it.
Hey, you're getting it in here. Yeah, for sure you're getting it in. Oh, and he doubles. So this is like a pretty easy get it in spot, I guess. With that stat, you just have to get it in on that board.
The chip leader was looking pretty good at the beginning, but now he's getting crushed. That's what I see. He's just losing. He lost half the stack.
Yeah, but I think that's the nature of the game, I guess. I mean, you just got to, in PLO, when you're swinging, people come and ask you, bro, you're up, what happened? I said, bro, ये PLO है, ATM नहीं है. It's you know what I mean? This is not an ATM where I can just sit and just withdraw money. This is PLO, you're going to swing.
That's a nice hand for Kate. Yes, that's a set and a flush draw.
Yeah, so I think King Queen can just very comfortably just check behind, you know what I mean. He doesn't have to bet this board at all. There you go. This is the spot. What are you gonna do? You gotta stack off with one pair. You know what I mean, right? So I think it's a very easy check back for King Queen because he just has one pair, and although your stack is short and you're probably the shortest now, then I think it is fine. But in general, I guess once you have 10 big blinds or less, I think it's okay to stack up with one pair.
And with that, we have the first casualty at this final table of the PLO Highroller. That's Sanat Mehroratra, aka Apneet, who has left this final table of 6, busted out in 6th place for a payout of little over 2.7 lakhs. He would not be too disappointed considering the payday, but yes, it could have been so much better, but no traction, I'm guessing, gentlemen.
Yeah. No, I think last time was fine because he had, I think, pretty much less than almost 1.2 SPR or whatever. I think is what he's doing with that stack.
Can I say I'm really glad about the fact that it's taken the better part of 40 minutes to actually get to that elimination. We've been seeing such fast final tables over the course of the last few streams that it's a little bit nice to have had that breathing room before one person got eliminated.
I think because there's no antis, I think that kind of helps, I guess. Yeah, I think he's going to go pot and a call. I think he's going to call at least. Come on, Dhruvin. Oh my God.
It's very uncharacteristic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very uncharacteristic.
He misled his hand or something. What is happening here?
Maybe he was like, I got a little page up. This is nice. He's like, maybe I can protect it.
Yeah, just breathe that in.
This seems aggressive to me with KES's hand. I don't know if it is or not.
Yeah, it is very very aggressive. You can just fold this hand. So basically, this is one of the things which I've seen a lot of guys who just get into PLO do. They overvalue double suited raggy hands a lot. So if you're really interested in PLO, just go to PLO Mastermind. I'm not paid by Jane Addis to say this, but go to Jane Addis PLO Mastermind, and they have a starting hand ranges for PLO for players who's just starting PLO. You can pretty much, they have everything: double suited, single suited, what to open from what position. Probably check it out, and you'll know how to play pre-flop correctly. And in PLO, if you correct your pre-flop mistakes, your post-flop is way easier. You will
you don't got all these garbage hands in there that shouldn't be in there.
Right, you will never be in a spot where what do I do now?
Boy, Uma is really facing the heat at the moment in terms of his chip stack.
Yeah, but then, like we said earlier, he is a cash game red, right? So I think he still has a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, perhaps him and the poker player, that's Dhruvin Kothari, these two guys who have been...
to be very honest, still drawing has been playing very, very good PLO so far.
Well, it's the house of Maheshwari.
Yeah.
Roopesh Maheshwari. That's Shrey Maheshwari. So it's all going to one place, I believe, at the end of the day. So yeah, house Maheshwari.
I like this limp a lot from Uma. The reason why I think he's limping, one of the reasons why he's limping is because he doesn't want to get pot and just get repotted and play a bloated pot with his hand. He can just limp and call a pot in case still drawing decides to just pot it. So I think it's a very, very smart move by Umaha to just limp this hand because it's a very high equity hand anyways.
So what do you think about this one? So we've got a bet and a raise, and he's sitting there for straight on a paired board.
Yeah, I think Umar is going to fold here for sure because it's two people. I think you just can't continue here. Oh wow, that's sick, man. I mean, now it's an easier fold, but how good? So I think Umar should have just folded turn because the problem is you just can't expect to go for it to go check on the river. You know what I mean? Especially when it gets bet and re-raised, you will never see a cheap river. So if you know that they're very passive players and they're just going to check to you on the river, then you probably can call there and hope to just go check on the river. But otherwise, I think you can just fold it.
So I don't know if you just saw that, but Prometheus folded 2 kings on the button.
Yeah.
So I think he's the one of the guys that's trying to. He understands the ICM the most, maybe at this final table. Just like, you know what, I'm staying out of the way.
Yeah, he's a Tony Reg, so yeah.
Yeah, he's probably got it tattooed somewhere on his ala, Memento, and Gajni and all of that stuff. There's probably some grain charts tattooed somewhere on his body. He's played that much tournament poker. And just in case you're wondering what all of these gentlemen are talking about, it is, of course, got to do with the pay jumps. Next up, whoever gets eliminated gets 3.5 lakh rupees, and then 4.36 lakhs, followed by 5.3 lakhs, almost 8 lakhs for second place, and 11.79 lakhs up top. Besides all of this, the player who wins this tournament will also get a seat into the IOPC Masters table on the 3rd of February. And the winner of that table gets a really cool looking watch, which is a customized Breitling Avenger Chronograph 43 watch. It looks really cool. Check out the images online. And of course, it's customized, which means the word mastermind of the IOPC Jan 21 series is also going to be mentioned on that bracelet. So let's not forget that there is also a gold badge that's coming the way of this winner.
Yeah, I think from this is going to spot it. It just, yeah. Come on, Cat Eyes, you're going to peel this. You know you want to peel it. See?
That's an okay flop for his hand.
Yeah, he's been flopping Jill whenever he has peeled hats like these. Like, if you go to
Yeah, he's probably one of the only players on the table who's actually consistently been hitting a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of the flops. So, hey, not a bad place to be.
A nice turn for Prometheus, yeah? Like, he went air and then he turned Jin. Like, pretty much, that's a Jin card for him.
Yeah.
7 and 2.
I like this pressure. I don't even think the ace-2 can really continue, right? Like, he could be drawing.
Absolutely. But I think he's got to peel one more because he has a gutter, I guess.
And just like
yeah, now he's just going to go with it. I think Prometheus just has to go with it because he just has a tens as well, which blocks it.
He blocks all the straights. I guess it's unlikely his opponent has a straight too, but
yeah, it's very difficult. And then I think he's just going to go with it for sure. There you go. I think
that's a very nice play. Yeah. I don't see how the ace deuce can continue. It's just like there's no flush draws he can pick off, right? Like this is just a pure bluff.
Absolutely, and Cat's hand is very face up ace deuces or ace eights at best because sets will bottom sets and middle sets I think will just check raise turn at least and get it in, try to get it in on the turn. And when he just go check call, his hand is very Roopesh heavy, and Roopesh hands cannot take that kind of aggression. Yeah, I think that's
a beautiful play. Man, I really like that from Prometheus.
Yeah, I think he just has to go with it only. Yeah, I think that will have to just get it in here.
Pocket jacks in Umaha's hand. Never a good thing, man. Pocket jacks, man. No matter what the value. Pocket jacks. More ways to get screwed in this variant of poker.
Yeah, I think he's going to go. I think he's going to take a free flop here.
Yeah, because obviously, if you don't flop a set,
yeah, you can't do much with that.
Well, am I just betting my opponent calls and just blindly firing? Probably not. So yeah, check definitely seems optimal. He's going to just take a stab here, and I like it.
Although there's like you can probably, if it is like there's at least one suit, I think it's a very good three-winning hand in like deep stack cash games though. Because
yeah, but we're not playing a deep stack cash game, all right?
All right. The cat is going for it. He doesn't care. If it's a rundown, it's a rundown. I'm going for it.
I think he likes the low cards a little bit.
No, he just likes rundown. It's not low cards. He likes the rundowns. Like, you know, he just wants it to look like looking pretty.
That's pretty enough a flop for him.
Yeah, but not quite, because, you know, five flush draws are wrong.
We're talking about pretty, Samo. We're not talking about sense here. It's pretty. It's pretty.
Yeah, it's one of those flops where someone could continue a lot, so I'm glad he did a continuation bet.
Yeah, it just got better. Like, he just picked up a sucker rap, no? Niche ka. Yeah. And everyone picks up some kind of equity on this turn. Because now, so Robertus will just fold here a lot. Like, you know, he just can't continue here at all.
What about still drawing?
Still drawing can call for sure. Of course, yes. He has 2-pair and a flush draw. And, you know, Cat Eyes can have exactly the kind of hands he has right now. Robertus will just have to fold because of the fact that he has a naked flush draw. Yeah, good fold. Yeah.
Oh, the flush. It's there.
Cat Eyes got to check back and just win this hand for sure.
I mean, Peter knew. He said that's a good flop for him.
Pretty will win every day of the week. And Cat Eyes taking that pot jumps up a little bit more up the counts. In fact, for the first time, if I'm not wrong, crossing $1 million there.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like Cat Eyes is definitely the one that's going to throw these guys for a curveball. He's just relentless. Like, he's just playing the craziest hands in some spots, and he's aggressive. He might stir things up, you know. Like, I like it. It's just different. Just what you need. You need those random like moves that just throw people off their game and not sure what to do.
Yeah, it's almost like he's taken the baton from Umaha because we saw him playing a little more creatively earlier on before he got slammed with a few hands.
So it does seem like still drawing, when he's the chip leader, he takes a very different approach to Umaha. Right? Still drawing, he's maintaining his chip lead. He's still being aggressive in some spots, but he's not raising like these 3-card hands that look playable. Whereas Omaha, when he was the chip leader, was raising anything that looked like a hold'em hand almost, you know. So very, very different style. Probably, I'm gonna guess that Omaha's, you know, the more experienced player, so that's why he's raising these kind of hands and stuff. But, you know, still drawing maybe a little bit less experience on Omaha, but he's playing solid. And I think that's what you should do. You should know your strengths in the game. If you don't think you're some sicko that can raise every single hand in this type of game, this type of situation, be comfortable, not go crazy.
Sicko can't really do much because the stacks aren't that much. But you know, you can bring Jane Anderson. What is he going to do with these stacks? Like, you know, he's going to look at it. Bro.
Look, Jane Anderson won't know what to do at this round table. We got guys playing Ace-5 Deuce 8, you know, under the gun against chip leader. So what is he going to do? He's not going to understand the ranges. He's going to be confused.
Right.
I'd love for him to have actually a look at this game. He might just, you know, fall off his seat for a little bit.
or catch the next flight here.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to get in line because a certain couple staying in Melbourne is contemplating migration to these neck of the woods, given the play they've been seeing over the last few days.
Wow, oh wow, okay, that's a good flop for him. But I didn't think Prometheus is going to limp this hand here because, you know, with this taxes, I think he just comfortably pot and just get to the top there. It's just call Prometheus. It's not going to do anything. Just call.
Man, this is aggressive 3-bet too, huh? Ace Jack 7-3.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's not a 3-bet. It was limped and just potted.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
There's the aggression that Randy Lou was referring to.
Yeah. So I mean, I think still drawing will. Like all Queen 3/3 kind of boards, it's very difficult for them to have anything on that sizing, I guess, in general.
What about a Queen 9?
It's set, right?
Yeah, easy game. Well, while he's not, it's almost looking like still drawings like shut shop, but that's absolutely not the case. But he's been playing very, very controlled, and I think it's done well for himself. He's not deviated too much from the chip lead for a while now.
Yeah.
I like the bigger sizing there. I feel like it just puts Omaha like, you know what, I'm not going to see
it's going to put him under a lot of pressure as well. Like, you just can't just see flops.
You told me poker player was crazy. Okay, he's been.
I know. Yeah, he's the one who shot shot.
I know, right? I'm like, Dhruvin, come on, bro, do something, man.
Dhruvin, इज्जत बचा ले सबों की.
कुछ कर भाई. I think poker player. Like I've seen him playing. Oh, okay. Again, I think it's the difference between tournaments and cash games. I think I've seen him playing live, and he's wicked crazy.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I noticed is that when Omaha was the chip leader, he was going for these really small sizes, maybe 2.2, but still drawings going for the full 3x. I like it. You know what? Yeah. Just cut them out. And actually, it maintains a situation where you can't get forced in flops, getting cooled and losing 8 million chips here and there now.
Yeah,
and
probably top 10
really
still.
What's that? Yeah, no, I prefer the way still drawing is playing. I know Omaha's probably maybe the more skilled player potentially, but like this guy's playing really well for his chip lead, and like I like the sizes.
And I think Omaha's gonna peel here a lot because he has double gutter with the flush draw and things like that.
Yeah, how do you miss? He might get baited here, right?
Yeah, no, I think he's just being forced to. Probably not, because he's blocking 6-7, but he's not blocking 9-10.
No, he just fold. A nice play.
Well, fine. Ooh, that's the ooh segment of Uma.
I guess still drawing. He's like, I don't want to make a call and just be all of a sudden second place. He was like thinking about the stack size a little, like, I like my position. It's okay, I'll give him a little one. Maybe he stole it from me. Maybe he had it. That's the vibe I'm kind of getting from him from his play.
What's weird is that every time something like this happens, I try to click on the replay button, and then I realize, oh, this is a recording. I want to see what happens. Like, kya hua tha bhai? And then,
yeah. Auto go to the top left side.
Yeah. Like, oh no. That's not happening. Yeah.
Like, Samuel, you're probably looking at the rebuy button. That's the one you be using regularly, right?
No, I don't use that. I put it on auto rebuy, so it automatically happens.
Yeah, that checkbox is ticked hard.
Yeah.
Still drawing, still out there, a little over 2 million in chips, and he's keeping it steady. Was that a walk I just saw?
Yeah, no, it was.
Wow.
Not for one of the big stacks and get a walk. It was one of those medium ones. This looks like looks pretty. You haven't played a hand in a while. I don't know, 10-9-8-8. Is this a playable hand, Samuel?
Yeah. I think it's a playable hand in general, but I think given the stack sizes, I think it's a fold because he's just waiting for very high card heavy hands here because he has a 10 BP stack. I think that's what is happening. The first ever PLO tournament which I played was in the Philippines in 2012, and I won it. I still have the trophy, and I didn't even know how to play PLO then. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
that's how most people get into this game. Play the first time, win it the first time, and easy game, bro. And then probably a few weeks and months later, you're just like curling under your bed and.
Oh, okay. I think Anand is thinking with top 2 pair at the straight blocker when Omaha is sitting with the goods.
Yeah, he knows that he's been kind of reckless too and just kind of bluffing here. And that's why he's suspicious. He kind of looks like he's trying to steal the pot from him, right? It's full pot size bet. I guess he's thinking of would his opponent bet if he had a straight draw, right? Would he have put some bets on the turn maybe or flop? I don't know. You got to really break it down and follow it through. He does make the call. Nice.
I think he got caught.
Yeah. You got a bad image, you're going to get paid off.
Yeah.
I get a feeling Uma is listening to our commentary. He's bridging that gap now from a little over 1 million in chips to now close to that 2 million mark, bridging that gap between himself and the other member of House Maheshwari.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, I think Pavita's had it. Like, I'm done.
Like,
yeah. I'm done. I'm done. No, we're done. Let's go with it now.
Yeah, so despite Omaha being in second place, he's still playing like he's got the chip lead right now. You know, like he's just still raising relentlessly, just going crazy.
But Cottage still drawing. And he's going to go fold again. Oh, probably. I don't know. I'm not too sure what poker player going to do. Come on, people. Yeah. I think Dhruvin is someone who does not have to worry about ICM anymore. Oh, wow, okay. That's Kings versus Queens. Gonna go pot, and I think Omaha is just gonna call here. Yeah, like Randy said, he's just going full pot.
Yeah, he's just trying to shut his opponent out from calling with marginal hands in the big blind. But I think 2 kings, we can see something. He's gonna 3-bet it.
Wow, okay.
Well, it should get 2 queens down, I imagine.
I think in general, kings usually with an ace or an ace, suited ace, something like that is a 3-bet because of the fact that you block a lot of aces as well when you have the ace. Just FYI, I think in this spot it's a proper 3-bet. But in general, people just choose to have an ace along with a king. But here the situation is that still drawing open from the button where his range is very, very wide anyways.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to take off the stream for a couple of minutes just to find out that answer of that contest question and maybe get another question going for our viewers.
Yeah, you need to find that out yourself. I don't know what it is.
A lot of people here are curious about that. So I'll just be right back with that answer. See you guys in a bit.
Okay, so
Well, here's the easy pot for 2 aces. Here we go. Nice straight there.
There you go. Okay. So now we haven't lost a player yet after that. So I think Prometheus is gonna just get it in right now. And I think Yata is okay. Uma's relentless. Yeah, he's relentless. Yeah, he's relentless, but Prometheus is gonna go with it anyways, and Uma is just gonna fold, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think he can do anything.
Omaha's hands, he's opening relentless hands, but if they're folding very tight, like, it doesn't really matter. If he can just fold these hands and just open, he's the chip leader. I think he realizes that his opponents are playing pretty tight, and he can get away with these really garbage hands that he's been raising. He's a back to chip lead.
Yeah. Absolutely, and then I think Prometheus also realized that these guys just do. I think he can just go back and look at showdowns, right? And then they realize that these guys are doing whatever they want. So I think the hands that fold have a lot of equity. Let's just go with them.
Yeah, I think that's the right play. Especially if his opponent is folding to 3-bets, right? Like, then it's even better for you to just 3-bet high equity hands and just take it down.
Absolutely, and I think poker players is sort of go pot and just go with it. Because it's a chip, almost a chip leader who's potting from the button very wide ranges.
Yeah, you got ace, king, queen, suited ace. Like, I don't know how much. What else can you do with 20 big blinds, right?
Absolutely. You have. You don't even. I don't think. Yeah, you just short of 20. But I think you probably can be here, I guess. But if you ask me, I'm just gonna, because there's not much ICM currently, because all three are pretty much similar stats.
One thing I would think about is still drawing has been opening a lot more lately. He's been doing full pop pre-flop, and he's actually folded to 3-bets pre-flop. So PokerPlayer actually lays it down. But having seen still drawing fold to 3-bets, stuff like this, like it doesn't necessarily mean that he's got a hand that's willing to commit.
Yeah. So, Randy, what do you think? What do you think? So basically, I don't mind his open at all, because if he can get it all in pre-flop, he will still have pretty much the same equity aces will have anyways. So right now, if Cat has decided to just get it in pre-flop, he's fine. And then on this board, he can just comfortably get it in,
Aces,
5-5, he doesn't have to worry about. Oh, okay. I think he just have to get it.
Yeah, I'm surprised Prometheus didn't bet that flop. But I guess a little trappy,
or at least bet that board just so that you feel bad.
You gotta bet this turn, right? The triple aces. I feel like I don't know. He's giving hands that had equity a chance, but what now? Is he looking to fold? He is.
Now I think he just at least I think he should just at least bet the turn and just see what happens and things like that.
Yeah, I feel like that play was a bit too passive. He just gave it away. He knows what to do. He has a plan for Omaha. And I think that's the only person he has a plan for Prometheus. He's just like, I just always repot this guy with high equity hands. Everyone else, he's got a different game plan. But oh my God, that's the flop straight.
Yeah. Well, then he's just going to miss out anyways. I don't think he's gonna fold. Yeah, let's go. And we lose pro player.
Oh, poker player, he limps the aces. Wow, look at this, man.
I don't think he's going to get a lot of action though. Did he just check back? What do you say? I think he just checked back.
No, he limped the aces under the gun. We had a posted big blind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he limped the aces under the gun. It was sneaky. But we do have Omaha as the chip lead, a massive chip lead now. Like it's crazy because this guy went from 24 million down to 12 million. Now he's dominating again. Like he had that one misstep where he called the boat over the boat, right? But I think maybe he realized after he called and saw the goods, like, man, I made a mistake. Let me just go back to my grinding, and it's working. Like, jeez, like I said it before this final table first card was dealt. Like I feel like I don't know these guys personally. But you tell me high stakes cash game guy, 2x the chip lead on the second place guy, like that's just telling me he's a big crusher, and I'm really impressed with the way he's playing. Despite obviously like he's playing some terrible hands, but he's playing the situation.
Yeah, so I think playing terrible hands is fine because he I think knows how to give up hands, how to bluff correctly, and how to raise correctly. I think that is what is keeping him afloat, to be honest.
Yeah, he's got a pretty funny hand, huh? He's got a little pair, a straight draw, and he's the one firing.
Yeah.
I don't know if his opponent
he's putting match,
right? Can he continue? He's got triple pair. Oh, he's crazy.
Yeah, he actually crazy. Yeah. Dhruvin Kothari with a win,
Yeah, that was a crazy play, I feel like.
Yeah, I think Silver's going to open this for sure. And it's just going to go full.
I mean, technically Omaha almost has a flush, right? He's got 4 of them. just one more heart, you flop a flush, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Poker player, he's taking a limp here with the 5-5 deuce ace.
Oh, it's very interesting to see that Sildrang just folded 3. I thought he's just going to open this. Oh, wow. Just flopping the...
this joint.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he just flopped it.
Yeah, I think my read was right on still drawings that despite having a big stack, he's just like trying to out ICM.
Yeah.
He's out four stacks. Let Omaha do his thing. And that might be the right play. Who knows? Like give up a little equity in some spots. And if you can guarantee.
Oh, wow. Dude, check that.
Yeah, I know. What the? He's in a boat. Wow. He's leading out.
Like that, he just turned the boat. Oh wow, Dhruvin's not going to get away from it.
Well, for this price, of course, he's not going to get away from it. Hope he doesn't get baited thinking his flush is worthy of a raise, but nice fan. He didn't lose that much, I think, in my opinion, for his hand strength.
Yeah, and I think it's a good call by Dhruvin also, because what is he going to call in the lead turn? There are not many bluffs in his range in that spot when he leads.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, you play any live catch at all in Melbourne or anywhere? No.
I mean, right? Obviously not lately, but no, I'm not too much of a live player myself. But I do enjoy it when I do get. Oh, okay, don't worry about that. 2 aces for Kate. Let's just pot it, right?
Yeah. You just have to get it in. He has a perfect stack, and then you can just get the XPR solo. You can just auto stack off a lot of boards, and he doesn't have to worry about ICF because he's the shortest stack anyway. And I think that is one of the things which Omaha is catching up on, because he knows that no one's going to report other than when they have aces or kings, and he can just open and just fold every time they report.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2 aces here. Maybe he's going to go in our trap. He lives the ace in small blind. It's going to work, right? I think this pot's coming up. There we go.
Yeah, now he's just going to report it, I guess. There you go.
Beautiful.
Oh my God. Not flush draw. Yeah, he gets that.
That was a good play because he knew he was opposed.
Yeah, I think he's been trying to do that forever now. Even the last moment he did that. From under the gun. Yeah, I think he's going to come and put an open here for sure. Yeah, I think Dhruvin is also playing a very limpy strategy because he wants to limp and then see a flop in case even he gets spotted. I guess I think that's the strategy he's going for. He's just trying to keep it small.
I don't think there's anything wrong with keeping the pot small, because if you start raising and you get potted, obviously with these types of hands, you're kind of forced to see a flop. You might be committed to get it. You need to protect your deck size, and the whole ICM thing. This is it's a nice adjustment in this game.
Absolutely.
Because you can't just okay, you limp, my opponent just jams on you. This is not no limit hold'em. You can control the pot really well in Polymer.
Absolutely. Again, another limp from, and everyone has pretty much picked up a decent hand. If you notice, everyone has a decent hand. Oh wow, okay. And Omaha has just got the second nuts.
Yeah, this is one of those hands where I look at preflop like, wow, they actually all have a nice hand.
Nice hand, absolutely. Yes.
The smallest pot preflop.
Yeah. It's not a mistake for any one of these guys to have potted three. Really honestly, and in a cash game, I'm pretty sure all these guys probably it will be a 3-bet pot as well.
Well, you tell me that the poker player is a pretty aggressive live player, right? You know what? After this tournament, he's going to be limping every hand in this live games and cash games. He's going to be a new man. Trust me.
No, I think he plays a lot online as well. He plays a lot of high stakes online cash games as well. Yeah, I think no one's going to.
Thoughts on this hand? He's got kind of marginal draws, right?
I mean, with the straight draw, flush draw, with these kind of stats, I think you'll at least fall here for sure. Yeah, not folding now. I don't think he'll ever fold now.
Well, I mean, technically, his straight draw is probably not good, right? Like, this guy raised pre-flop. He could easily have ace-king. It's pretty weak, actually.
Right. You're on the turn, yes, but on the flop, if he has to get it on the flop, I think given the stats, I think he will. I'm not talking about in a conventional cash game, you probably want to fold this hand because your flush draw is 9 high or 10 high, whatever, and then you're pretty much have an opponent, you're not going to talk to the nuts if you're the king. But considering how the stats are placed in the side, it wouldn't be a mistake to just get it in as well. So there you go, he did it again.
He limped. He's trapping with the ace, king, queen, 7.
Yeah, he's limp on it again.
No, he took the bait with that really bad hand just now.
Yeah.
while still drawing. He's like, you know what? I had enough folding these kinds of hands. Let me just go for one. King, Queen, Jack, 4. That's out. I mean, normally I think this hand's a fold. I was gonna say there's a chance that Cat Eyes is like, let's see a flop, but he's out. So interesting scenario. We got 2 guys at the same stack, right? The 20 big blind guys. The guy in second, he's got a solid stack, but I think he's just trying to stay out of the way of the players, and Omaha is just...
Absolutely, yeah, he's just not doing anything. Omaha is just running the show right now. I think and there is nothing much anyone can do because Omaha is just going to very, very crazy on everyone. Like, he's like, I'm going to just go play my ranges and just go. Yeah,
look, if he raises this hand, sure. This is disrespect to everyone.
He just go. He's actually raising every hand pretty much. He doesn't care about what hand he has. I think he realized that everyone's just playing too tight, and he's just they're not rebuilding enough for peeling enough. So now he can just fold, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But I love you got 2 kings. Let's just pot it. And if he's, to be fair, every time Omaha's open, he's got 3-bet, right? Like, he's actually folded, I want to say 90% of the time. So these guys should really be taking these big Broadway hands, obviously the big pocket pairs, and just always potting against them. Denying your opponent equity in this game is pretty much a win, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then the fact that Omaha, I think he has realized that Shrey has realized that people are just playing too tight on this table, so he can just get away from opening. Like Jack 8-4-4 with no suit is just like if he's opening that, he has figured out that this table is playing too tight. Do we have feedback? Okay.
Yes, we do. And I've got the answer to that contest question. And it'll seem obvious once I tell you what it is. It'll seem obvious once I tell you guys, but we got to hold on till we are ready to announce the name of the winner of that contest. But the nice thing is that there is one more contest coming up. Sorry, sir.
Okay, I hope it's not something very, very like very stupid. That's like
I wouldn't say stupid, but it's kind of obvious once you sort of hear the answer. So,
but like, what is it called? So I think Randy, in live, what happens is that you play with a lot of Indian flush players come and play poker because they want to give it a shot, right? So in Indian flush, for flush you call color. You don't call it flush. You call it color. And heart is what? Pan, right? Pan, right? Peter?
Pan is spade, no? Or is it heart?
Yeah.
Well, I'm clearly not a flush player. So.
What do you have? Pan ke color hai.
I mean, if you told me it's called Pan, I'm going to believe you, man. Fair enough. Pan is hard. Our production team has chimed vigorously in Pan is hard.
Oh, it is hard. Pan ke color. That's my answer.
There you go. And just to make sure that our viewers are not very disappointed with Samo's shot in the dark, it's not Pan. And we've also been told by production that spades is Hukum. Oh, yeah. I love that name. It's got a lot of power behind it. And anyway, I love the spade in the deck. That's probably the coolest suit of them all.
It's the prettiest.
And clearly, in the time I've been off, there's just been one more casualty. It's bro, you gone. We miss you already. I guess all of that is... wow, production's really taking all of this Pan and Hukum stuff to heart. Club is cheating.
I know.
Diamond is heat. I'm like... All right, fair enough. We're ready to play one more variant of cards right after this one. All right.
Jeez, I don't think I want to be friends with anyone who calls diamond eat.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, not eat, but not you. We call it eat.
And just to remind our viewers that the last knockout at this table was Anant Purohit playing as Prometheus, and he took home 3.5 lakh rupees for his fifth place finish.
Gotta go pot and call. So, I think still Royal will stop playing hands. It's like, bas ho gaya bhai mera. Hold kar lenge second place tak.
Randy, I love the fact that you said in such a casual, confident way after someone's thrown that Hindi statement at you. I mean, just need to come to immigration, man. I think we'll probably stamp your papers. You're good. It's all good.
Yo, Pete, sorry, Pete.
Sorry, go on.
So basically, in Team Pati, when people guys come and play poker, no? So you know how they look at the cards, right? If you look at me, they look at it like
it's this whole drama around
they look at it like this. They probably kiss cards and all that before they look at it, and they realize that when they have aces, so when you go on it and they're looking at the cards like that, they say, "Oh, but yeah, George to the gate. George is the code, right?" So it could be aces or the four.
Yeah, they're sweating themselves basically while squeezing those cards out. So fair enough. Oh man, Teen Patti players, flush players. Not that they need excitement in lives, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, we've seen some stuff go down in the casinos. It's crazy. But here we are playing Pot Limit Omaha, which is not too far away from those other variants we spoke about. A lot of action that's taken place, but still the house of Maheshwari is dominating here with still drawing in Omaha. In fact, Omaha grabbing the lead back again after having lost it a little bit earlier on. But still drawing is he still been sort of a bit coy playing hands while I've been off?
Yeah,
he's kind of just hanging in there despite he was a chip leader against Omaha, but Omaha was still playing like every single hand and still drawing. He's trying to outlast his opponents a bit, and I respect that because if you can guarantee yourself top two, I would take that any day. But what's happened is actually the short stacks have actually increased their stack. So they're closing the gap on still drawing slowly, so it could potentially backfire. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think Omaha, he always has this going on relentlessly. But if you're from Omaha, you know that the small blind and the big blind that's just going to fold to you. So every button it folds to him, he's just going to pot.
Yeah, taking a stab at that.
Every hand, and I think that guy's going to peel here at least. The 3-betting is a little too weak, and not too weak.
I have to appreciate the fact that both Cat Eyes, Avad Shah, and the poker player in Dhruvin Kothari, they've been steady. I mean, they've not gone beyond that 1 million chip mark. Well, maybe Cat Eyes did for a bit there, but they've just held on. So
absolutely, yeah.
Clearly looking for a place to fire out from, but thus far below that million chip mark.
Yeah.
So surprisingly, no one has anything worth looking at, right? I mean, I guess technically the flush got on the flop. It was a lot of garbage.
Yeah. I think Dhruvin is going to take a shot at it, I guess, or maybe just check call because Dhruvin knows that Omaha bluffs a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Low flush can't be making him too happy, but
but then he's going to check call. He's not going to fold for sure.
Yeah.
Unless he pots.
And as I said it, I mean, it's the reverse of the commentator's curse because Dhruvin Kothari has picked up enough chips to cross the million mark.
Yeah.
And him too for the first time, if I'm not wrong. So something is working. Dhruvin, I'll send you my address, man. You can send me good stuff. It's all good.
I think Dhruvin is a chartered accountant, by the way.
Lovely. There are some books of mine which are in really bad shape. Maybe I can work out a deal. Chartered accountant. Man, I'm sick of people who know the game so well, and then to top that off, they are like math whizzes and accounting whizzes. So, where's leisure players like myself going to end up here? But that's the way it is. And if you've been following our live streams over the course of these few days, you will have noticed some very, very familiar faces repeating their presence at some of these final tables. That just goes to show you how much of a skill game this game that we love is. With those kind of performances, it's not really surprising that we've got, WSOP bracelet winners, coming in from India over the last 3 to 4 years.
Fold, I guess. I think this is good. Okay. Finally, I think Sildrang decided to just peel one.
Yeah, I think he might be getting a little frustrated, right? He's what, I'm going to defend.
Because he has folded too many peeling hands before, and he just chooses 9-7-7-4 with 9-9 suit to just peel now. I think Silverong is getting too frustrated right now, but I think he has still enough to keep him going, and he doesn't have much to worry about. I think he'll go pot and.
Yeah, remember, still drawing had like 23, 24 million, right? His game plan is to kind of fold a bit, but these other guys haven't busted out yet, so now he's thinking maybe it's backfiring. But KES is getting in there with the 8-7-5 deuce.
Yes, and I think this is it, guys. I think he has to get it in. Like, if you call that and then get to the flop.
If you call this hand, how much better can it really get? But he's practically drawing dead.
But then, and we have the final three. And now that Uma has a chip lead, it's going to be a very, very fun watch, I think. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't a fun watch earlier, but now it is even more fun.
Yeah. I'm guessing he's going to go back to his initial play at this table with a lot more aggression once again.
I think Silverong is now just coming out of his, I'm done. I just have to open up now, I guess.
Yeah, it is three-handed. So I think it's a bit of it's like two hold'em hands together, right? Queen Jack suited and 6-5 of clubs, but I'm not sure if this is really that good of a hand.
I think three ways. I think it is still they're three-handed and you're at the button. I think it's still fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not probably opening it under the gun or anything like that, but on the button three-handed, I think it's fine. I think.
Well,
if you know that you're going to flop top two and a flush draw, then of course it is fine.
Interesting peel, I think, for poker player. He had the 2 jacks and 7-9. He's got an overpair, but look at this board.
Yeah, you can't do much overpair. Yeah, you just have to. I think still drawing could have taken a shot on the turn for sure.
Oh,
they will check and.
It's almost like the frustration level from Uma has shifted a little bit towards still drawing.
Yeah.
That'll calm the beast a little bit. And if you're just joining us, what took you so long? Seriously, we've been talking for such a long time now. There have been so many action hands in this particular tournament. And, if you are still just joining us, we've had our 4th place elimination in Avad Shah playing as Cat Eyes. And Avad takes home 4.36 lakh rupees for his efforts. Well played to Avad Shah. And now down to the final 3, out of which 2 players are named the same, Maheshwari. So it's like one of those house Maheshwari type of situations. Pretty.
Yep. It's easy when you have the nuts, I guess. I think Dhruvin's going to be here, right? For sure. But now I think Dhruvin does not have any IC considerations per se because, he's a shorter stack, so he can just feel more widely, I guess.
Yeah, I would start seeing some flops, I think, especially since the other guy isn't playing as many hands, so you don't want to just blind down. You're going to be forced to get in first anyways. I would like to see the 8-9 maybe take a stab on the turn. What are your thoughts? I know he's not going to work, but...
of course. I think he
heard you, Randy. He just heard you loud and clear.
I mean, obviously it's not going to work, but his opponent looks pretty weak.
No, it could probably because the jack lines and the nuts. You lose to 8-9, and you still lose to 6-9 as well. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, Omaha's hand's actually not really that good, is it?
Not really good unless. Let's see what. Oh wow!
Nice.
A pot for sure. Oh, he got called.
Oh, wow! Play.
I would say call any size pot, but he just snapped like he called for sure.
I am befuddled and impressed at the same time.
Yeah.
And gentlemen, we've got an answer to the contest question, but I'll let Randy complete his thought.
No, I just want to say I like the stab. I know it didn't work for the poker player, but I think if the 9 kind of blocks some hands. But what's more important is what is the answer to this question, Peter?
Well, let's get the answer to that contest question. We asked you a little bit earlier, what is the heart flush in poker called? And the answer, which is going to be very obvious now that I'm going to tell it to you guys, is called Valentine's, gentlemen. Valentine's is what the heart flush is called in poker. Yeah, I know. When I heard it the first time.
What?
Yeah. Well,
Who named all these things?
We should definitely find that out because that is exactly what it is. And the gentleman who's won it, well, at least I think it's a gentleman, goes by the username Yuvraj009. So Yuvraj009 mentioned Valentine's as his answer to what a heart flush is called in poker. And because of that, he's our lucky winner and he gets a ticket into the recharge tournament worth 2,200 rupees, which is scheduled for tomorrow. So congratulations once again to Yuvraj009. Well done on that kind of an obvious answer, which had us floating for a little while there. And stay tuned. We're going to maybe try and do one more contest for you in just a few minutes.
I'm guessing that guy was the only one to get the answer right. That's my read.
It's not too far off. Let's put it that way. There were only a few answers to that. But in the world of Google that we live in, I guess we did get a few answers mentioning that.
Wow, he just folded the straight there with the nut blocker too.
The flush of the board, I guess. That's right.
Yeah. But he did have the nut blocker, so when his opponent goes for the pot size bet, isn't he kind of looking more of like he's not betting that kind of flush that big sometimes? I don't know. Seems a little bit. It was a big fold.
Yeah. Oh, 2-5 and we lose. Dhruvin Kothari in third place. Very well played, Dhruvin. And we are head up with the Maheshwaris. What is this?
How's Maheshwari dominating once again? And Dhruvin Kothari, well played to Dhruvin, who was playing as the poker player. Clearly, some work needs to be done on the naming conventions here. But not his game, as he takes home third place prize of 5.32 lakh rupees. Well played, Dhruvin Kothari. And it's now down to the two Maheshwaris. Who will it be? Maheshwari A or Maheshwari P?
Yes. Keeping up with the Maheshwaris.
Keeping up with the way. Yeah, there's possibly a very cheesy sitcom. Very much so. And I've just been informed that we do have another contest question. And for folks who are watching us right now, we do want to let you know that there is the FTS coming up. That's the final table series, which is coming up in March 2021. Now, all you need to do for this question is to guess the guarantee that's on offer for FTS March 21. Mention the guarantee along with your contest, along with your username, and tag 3 of your friends. And we will announce the winner of this particular contest on the 3rd of February during the IOPC Masters table. So guess the guarantee of the final table series coming up in March 21. And if you are one of the lucky winners, you will get a free ticket into day 1A of the Millionaire. And that ticket's worth 5,500 rupees. So make sure you get your answers out there. And we will announce the winner of this particular contest on the 3rd of February. Back to the action with Maheshwari versus Maheshwari. Keeping up with the Maheshwaris. My God, there are so many puns and sitcoms we can make. But here we are, 4.4 million for the original chip leader that started off this tournament. And he's up against still drawing, which is Roopesh Maheshwari, 1.3 million.
Yeah. Still drawing. He got what he wanted, right? He was playing tight, outlast everyone. Now he's finally gotten to the heads up, guaranteed the top 2. You got nothing to lose now, right? You just got to try to, be a bit more aggressive, get in there. You got to overcome this big chip lead. But obviously, Omaha, he's got the advantage with the skill, I imagine, as well as the chip.
Yeah, and one more thing to note is that, if he's a high-stakes reg, so a lot of these high-stakes reg do open sit on big tables online, and, if they punch heads up, although they don't sit on heads-up tables, because they open sit on a lot of online online cash tables. They start tables like that, and then because of that, they'll be pretty well versed with their heads-up game as well. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how Shrey handles this heads up.
Yeah. Now, I don't know Still Drawing's experience in PLO as well as the heads up aspect of it, but if he didn't have the experience, I feel like he should be bloating pots pre-flop, getting a bit more aggressive with some draws in there, and just try to make something happen.
Absolutely, just play high variance style.
Yeah, it might be the only thing that might perhaps cause a ripple in the way Uma is running over this table right now.
Yeah.
And the rich get richer.
And he's running pretty decent as well. Whenever he has opened, he has collected some part of the flop.
I get the feeling if there are a couple of more hands that go the way the last few have, we're going to see Still Drawing get into a bit of a tilt mode.
I think when they know there's going to get live stream and things like that, no one actually goes into tilt mode. It just I think tournaments don't really tilt me. I don't know. Just cash games I used to tilt back in the day, but then in general, I don't think tournaments tilt people in general.
Clearly, you've never seen me play.
Now, this is aggressive, man. What does he have? Nice play from both players. Still Drawing actually just went for that draw, I believe he just had.
No, I think he had the 8. He had the 8.
Oh, did he have an 8? Okay. I just saw a bunch of
the turn first draw.
Now, I believe in heads up, especially with this stack depth, limping is actually a very viable strategy, right?
For Omaha, I think, if you think you have a considerable skill edge, I think then limping is fine.
And, because we're not playing with one extra player, at least 3 people, there's no outlast anyone. So the big blind also, I feel like, won't be folding his big blind as much as he was, obviously, for the past hour and a half that's been going on so far.
Absolutely. And then they'll probably be forced to play more hands.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll go bet call, I guess. Just bet fold.
Oh, the 10-9's in there.
I think so. He got there on the river. I think this is the longest the final tables have run in general, right? Because of the nuance situation.
Yeah, and the nature of the game too, and plus, I believe we came into this final table pretty deep stacks actually, right? Like a guy of 130, we had 260s and a 30 and a 25. So it does make a lot of sense that this would take a little bit more time than the other ones. Okay, nice.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He just checked it back. I think he's just trying to get a bluff in. Yeah. It's got a call. Yeah.
Snap.
Yep. I think heads up just makes it much easier to call, I guess. Because there are only so many cards out.
Correct.
Yeah. I guess the range is obviously wider. We're playing blind versus blind, so they're just gonna have so much more random stuff that might just want to go for it because knowing their opponent doesn't have anything a lot of times.
Absolutely, yeah. I still remember one of the Max Silver, right, Randy?
Yep.
I remember one of the Max Silver interviews which I watched, and he was talking about heads up PLO, and he said, "I don't even know how you can ever fold an ace from the big blind in PLO. I don't even know how you can ever fold. I think in PLO heads up, I think you're supposed to feel a lot from the big blind because you're just getting too good a price, I guess."
Yeah. I guess also, but the playability of your hand is still important, right? Because you're holding a 3, a deuce, it's almost a non-existent card a little bit, just because two pairs. It's quite weak in this game still on a lot of board textures.
Correct.
So yeah,
I think right now still drawing's current stack, which is at about 10, 11 bigs or something, 12 bigs, I guess, is going to be
here we go.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, and they're still drawing doubles. And I think they just try to get it in. Still right now, of course, yeah.
See a flop here. You flop a little something, you just go for a big check raise. You didn't flop anything, so pretty easy check fold.
Yeah.
But I feel like heads up, 10 big blinds, you almost can't play wrong. You almost could play any hand, and it couldn't have been that bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think heads up becomes another ball game altogether because both of them know that you just don't make enough hands in heads up. So a lot of hands which you think are thin value hands in your regular full ring games become like a full-fledged value hand in heads up.
Well, Roopesh Maheshwari, I should say, still clawing his way back a little bit with that double up. And he'll be hoping to add a few more chips so that he gives Uma a bit more of a run for his money.
Yeah, he's making a little comeback here. He was down to almost 10 big blinds. He's got a nice snap now.
Okay. If you've noticed something, Umaha has just been relentless. I mean, he has just not stopped potting. Like, I think someone is sitting on the side and he said, "Bhai, tu pot karte rahe." I think, he has just kept a guy on the side. Just keep potting. Do not stop.
Well, he's got a... When we were folding, right, still drawing was folding a pre-flop. It's not, dude. He's not folding now though. Like, things are different heads up. But he just got from 6-handed to 2-handed. Is watching everyone fold to him all day.
Absolutely. So I think if I play a PLO tournament, I know what exactly to do now. I think I'm just going to not stop potting. I'm just going to go pot. Like, once you get that deep, I think it doesn't make sense because people are just going to play so tight.
I like what you said earlier, Samo, that there's one guy who's just like constantly prodding.
Says,
do it, put it in. And that's pretty much what he's been doing. Don't stop. And I'd like to inform our viewers that the Crown main event's prize pool has crossed 3.8 crores. And there's still 45 minutes left. So if you want to get into it, you have 45 minutes to get in. That 3.5 crore prize pool is now 3.8 crores. And the winner of the crown will also get an 18-karat gold crown and diamond-studded 18-karat gold badge. Oh, there's a lot of bling in for the winners in this IOPC for sure. So yeah, 45 minutes to go. Get in there while you can.
Wow, okay. All right.
Yep. Looks about right.
And the day 2 for the crowd is tomorrow, right?
I'm sorry?
Day 2 is tomorrow or today?
Yes. Tomorrow. Because we're going to be back once again bringing that on the live stream. So, yeah, it's a tough life, guys. What can I say? We're just going to keep grinding, whether it's on the felts or on screen. So, there we go. Well, I've been corrected by our production crew. They're saying it's just the final table tomorrow. So, day 2 is the final table, I guess.
Yeah. Ooh. Flush over trips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think here, I think even here, Omaha was just forced to go for a thin value. Because, there are four flush cards on the board. And, I think it's very difficult to give your opponent a range of, a flush in that spot because there are 4 flush cards on the board. You got to have 2 cards in your hand.
Oh, so
chip
that's
it
what
away.
I'm doing wrong. Right. Once again, production tells me that day 2 is starting tonight at 10 p.m. of The Crown, and we will have the final table tomorrow, of course, as we live stream that and bring that to you.
Ooh. This is aggressive, huh? little gut shot on a paired board.
Wow. Yeah, and I think he decided to just take a stab at it. Like, it was like take a stand against Umaha. He's just been running over the... Okay.
Yeah, I think he's just like, this guy can't have it every single hand.
Yeah. Actually, he does. I mean, he's had it every single hand, I guess. Yeah, I think he's going to go with it. Yeah, that's it.
Live by the river and die by the river on that one. Wow.
Oh my God. We are done with that.
I suppose we shouldn't be too surprised that it finally came down to that hand and the river card which determined the winner of this one. And I'd like to say Maheshwari won, but then that would not be entirely correct. So it's actually Shrey Maheshwari who's won this IOPC PLO Highroller. And it's nice that, well, as a chip leader who started this final table, you'd like to think at the end of the day, looking at the payouts and the prizes, that he had an easy time of it, but it's not the case. There were clearly some serious swings up and down with the other Maheshwari, who finished, of course, in second place. That's Roopesh Maheshwari, who took home a runner-up prize of 7.99 lakhs. And, of course, our winner for this evening's tournament, Shrey Maheshwari, a.k.a. Umaha, takes home 11.79 lakh rupees for his win. We're going to try and get Shrey on a call in the meantime. Gentlemen, why don't you talk to each other? I'll just get Shrey on the call before in a minute or so.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I thought he played great. Like, he came into chip lead. He was dominating. He had some tough spots, actually against the same guy he just beat heads up, where he played that full house versus full house pot. But after that, it looked like maybe his opponent was going to try to beat a chip leader, but no, he just kept on going for it. He kept raising. He grinded his way. This was pretty much really smooth sailing. And that final hand, though, I would say it's a little bit dicey there, but in general, he played a phenomenal final table here today.
I think what worked for Maheshwari, what worked for Shrey is the fact that he realized that people are just playing too tight, and he realized that people are just not putting enough pressure on him, and he just decided to just go for all the chips, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like one of those Joe McKeon final tables of the WSOP. You remember the Joe McKeon final table? The one Joe McKeon won, where he just went out. He just said, everyone's playing that. I'm just going to go open every hand, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. No, that was a phenomenal one. I think, in my opinion, he really did dominate that one really well.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, sorry about that slight delay, but I do have now Shrey Maheshwari online with us. Umaha, congratulations, man. We had a lot of fun watching this final table with you playing against your namesake, of course, at the end. But it was quite a swingy ride for you, man.
Yes, it was definitely a swingy ride. And I actually don't play any tournament, but I definitely look up to this PLO Highroller. So because it's like I'm mainly a cash game player,
right?
So, but this is the game I love. It wasn't swingy, but the table was soft. Apart from Dhruvin, other players were not that difficult to play against. So there were a few.
Don't hold back, man, Shrey. tell us some more, please do.
True, man.
So besides, of course, Dhruvin, you've already mentioned. I just wanted to ask you. Was there ever a point at that final table where you felt that there was an opportunity missed? Were there any hands in particular that sort of you felt you could have done more?
One mistake, the board that I called on the river, I think that was a mistake. Yeah. Apart from that, I think there were one or two aggressive opens that could have been folded. Otherwise, I felt okay with the game. because people were not fighting back as much, and I had a bit of confidence in post-flop strategy. So,
Dude,
Shrey, I had a
you can't see him right. You can't see him right now, but Samo is vigorously agreeing with you. Samo, go ahead.
I said, Shrey, I had a question. Were you doing all the potting, or did you have a guy who's standing on the side and clicking on the pot button?
no, I was doing it.
Oh my God, how sweet. He actually seriously answered your question, Samo. He seriously answered your question. Randy, anything?
I did not do a lot of potting. I rarely use pot size except from rivers and 3-bet 3-flop. But
Yeah, correct.
I mean, it's a wild game.
Yeah, it is a wild game. So, Shrey, I had a question for you. Now that you are the PLO Highroller champion, I have a question for you. So, how do you approach sizing in PLO tournaments?
I mean, it's a mixture of the bow texture and what I am blocking and not blocking.
No, pre-flop. I'm talking about pre-flop.
He's asking about pre-flop.
Okay, pre-flop. Pre-flop, it's more about like here, but what do I want to accomplish? Are people calling too much? If people are free-betting too much, okay, I'll open less. I'll go for a lower size so that my cost per steal really decreases a lot in case I get a 3-bet frequently from people. And if people are mainly defending a lot and you want to raise up a little so that it becomes costly for them to call you pre-flop.
All right. Makes a lot of sense.
Thanks for that answer. Randy, do you have a question for our champion?
Yeah, sure. So after he lost that boat versus boat pot, right, he became second place. I guess the question is, did he think something is going to change now? Maybe the new chip leader is going to take over and he needs to tighten up? Or was he just going to continue his game plan of raising relentlessly?
No. So ideally, as per the ICM, I would try to avoid even getting near the guy with the big pot. I just don't want to play any all-in with him because it's a very close equity game, and ICM will have a huge implication here. But he was not fighting back as much, so I started again. I stopped a little bit. I tried to control myself, but since there was no innovation from other people, they were not adjusting. So I came back to grinding the blinds up.
Oh,
Yeah,
what a word. Innovation, man. That's a nice word.
You're boggling the minds of all the commentators here. I love the frank way that you are speaking right now. I want...
Honestly, I should not be so braggy, but the thing is, PLO Highroller, a lot of people are tournament players, and there was not anybody on the table apart from Dhruvin who plays cash games, so I was confident there a bit. It was an easy table for me.
Well, there you go. Gentlemen, I think we've taken enough time of the winner, and I think it's time that Shrey Maheshwari heads off to celebrate his win.
Spend some dollars.
Yeah. So, congratulations once again, Shrey. Very well played, and we hope to see more of you in these tournaments, not just PLO, but hopefully some more tournaments besides that.
No,
have a great evening,
I
man.
don't even like to hold 2 cards in my hand.
Well, there's a statement and a half.
That's a purist.
Yeah. Well, it's from the mouth of the champion, so we really can't say no to anything right now. It's just the way he is, and that's how he's played, and that's how he's won.
The game of the 4 cards.
And 4 is his lucky number right there. Shrey, once again, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the win, and enjoy the rest of the evening, man.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Sure.
Well, I got to say, humility is something that is a tad bit in short supply there. But I have to also say that, somehow you've been nodding your head across many of the statements that he made. Clearly, he knew what he was getting into. There was one player only that... Yeah, and he knew that the one threat on the table was Dhruvin Kothari. And he just played the way it came to him naturally. I think that's the best you can hope for in a situation like that.
Yeah, I don't think humility was in short supply there, very honestly, because he was just being very honest. Like, he was not bragging. He was just being very, very honest about it. Like,
Right.
the others didn't know what they were doing. They were not doing enough to actually, challenge me. So I could just do whatever I want, which is exactly what happened on that table. And to be very honest, if Dhruvin had a stat, then this final table would have played out much different, like way differently.
Right.
Because the other players, I'm not taking anything away from the others because they are not they're not PLO players, they're not PLO tournament players or PLO cash players. So yeah, obviously Dhruvin and this guy is going to have a huge edge over them because of the fact that it's a game. It's like me playing Team Patti. I mean, I don't even know how the game runs. Yeah. So basically, anyone who plays me will have a huge edge on me. So it's simple. It's very simple. Or me playing 5-card draw or Raz or something, where I have no idea what is happening.
But I think the word that you mentioned, enough. I think that was a very critical word. They didn't do enough. Obviously, they did something right to get to this final table, and no taking away from their skills, but just not enough in that final push.
Absolutely, because someone who plays PLO day in and day out, he has seen so many flops, so many textures. He knows how ranges interact with these flops and turns and rivers. He can just easily manipulate pots the way he wants it to be manipulated.
Right, Randy. Any final thoughts as we finish up this live stream?
Yeah, the champion, he was telling the truth. He played perfectly, really. His opponents were a bit inexperienced, probably, like we said. Maybe they satellited in a bit. Maybe they played no limit, more hold'em. He played perfectly. He was phenomenal. He's an excellent and worthy champion, and I think he's going to forever play every single PLO tournament out there.
Well, there you have it, folks. Randy Lou commenting on the future plans of Shrey Maheshwari. I'm sure he'll have a good night's sleep late at night with that win of almost 12 lakh rupees under his belt, along with the IOPC Gold Badge, of course, and a seat at the Masters table, the IOPC Masters table on the 3rd of February. So all of that action and excitement coming your way. And just before we leave, I'd like to remind you once again that the last flight of the crown is on its way to finishing up very, very shortly. Registration ends in a little under half an hour, I believe. So if you want to get in on that action, the prize pool has been crushed. It was 3.5 crores in guarantees. It's now more than 3.8 crores. Lot to play for. So get in on the action. Less than half an hour to go in to the IOPC Crown Tournament. We will be bringing you the final table from that Crown Tournament tomorrow evening. And I'll be joined by our esteemed guests and commentators for that event as well. Just to let you know that that contest question that we asked you, the second contest question, guess the guarantee of the final table series, which is going to take place in March 2021. And once you get your answer in there, tag your 3 friends, as well as mention your Spartan Poker ID and get your answers out there. We will be revealing this, of course, at the live stream on the Masters table, which will take place on the 3rd of February. And the winner of that contest will get a 5,500 rupee ticket into the Millionaire Tournament that will take place. So make sure you get your answers into the contest. Make sure you get into the crown. There's only a few minutes more for late registration to end. I'd like to take time out to thank our co-commentators here, Randy Lou and Sangeet Mohan, to join us here. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for all of your time. And we will see you on another broadcast really, really soon. Till then, stay tuned.